اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. إنا عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض والجبال فأبين أن يحملنها وأشفقن منها وحملها الإنسان إنه كان ظلوما جهولا. ليعذب الله المنافقين والمنافقات والمشركين والمشركات ويتوب الله على المؤمنين والمؤمنات وكان الله غفورا رحيما.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. My beloved viewers from all over the world, I welcome you to today's program by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, 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 Rabbil Alameen. We are in Ramadan, and all thanks, all praises, all adoration belongs to Allah for the mercy, for the joy, for the blessing of another Ramadan. So inshallah, as we start a new Ramadan, we are going to be having our weekly sessions in Ramadan. So that's why we are here today. We'll be here next week, Wednesday as well. So I welcome you all. So yet another edition, the 92nd episode of All You Will Believe. And today, inshallah, we have a special guest of honor who will be giving us a talk, and we'll get there shortly. Let us first go on to the recitation from the Quran from our sister, one of our madrasa sister, Fatima Aro. Sister Fatima, can you lead us in the recitation of the Quran, please?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لم يكن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين منفكين حتى تأتيهم البينة رسول من الله يتلو صحفا مطهرة فيها كتب قيمة فما تفرق الذين أوتوا الكتاب إلا من بعد ما جاءتهم البينة وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين حنفاء ويقيموا الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة وذلك دين القيمة إن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين في نار جهنم خالدين فيها أولئك هم شر البرية إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أولئك هم خير البرية جزاؤهم عند ربهم جنات عدن تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه ذلك لمن خشي ربه.
Alhamdulillah, thank you very much, my sister Fatima Zahra Aro, for the recitation. The audio was a bit poor, but I believe we followed. I can only pray that Allah make the Quran your guide in this world and your intercessor in the hereafter. I pray that Allah makes the Quran your friend. I pray that Allah makes the Quran elevate you in this world and in the hereafter. Thank you very much. Thank you. Barakallahu fiqh. Inshallah, I'll see you again. So announcement before I hand over to the moderator today. First of all, our mosque is open. The temporary mosque is open and fully functional for Ramadan. All activities are ongoing for Ramadan at the mosque. So please be part of it. Secondly, we want to thank you for your donations. We are seriously awaiting your pledges and more donations too. This is Ramadan. Your donation in Ramadan is 700 times more than your donation at other times. So we need to keep that donation coming to build our mosque. Please don't forget, we will be doing fundraising throughout Ramadan. Please earmark some money for the building of our mosque so that Allah can give you a lot of reward in this Ramadan. The Man UK calendars are still on order for a token. You can also get downloadable copies. All you need to do is to contact the Secretariat and they will provide you with the necessary link and for a small token. So please enroll your children at the madrasa at Man UK. The Markaz is open and they are taking enrollment now. So let's go on to the session for today. I want you to please pick your phone and call a few people to say, oh, you believe has started. We're on 6 o'clock throughout the period of Ramadan. Hopefully, if the time will change, we'll let you know. So without much ado, I'm actually excited with the guest speaker we have today. So I want to hand over straight to our moderator, our own in-house Imam and Alhaji Imam from Manchester. So he is going to lead us now. Please, is the moderator around? I've not seen him. Oh, yes, Alhaji Imam Hussein Ajikonle, Imam of Al-Muhsinun. So, Bismillah, ya Imam.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم. We thank Almighty Allah, the munificent Lord of the universe. Aleko Malam Shams by saying it is Ramadan and we all seem excited. This is the 92nd episode, as I mentioned, and I'd like to reiterate that as well. And by Allah's mercy, we're all here again celebrating Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, nothing is as exciting as that. Today is the 6th day of April 2022 and the 5th Ramadan, year 1443, and we are thanking Allah that we are alive witnessing it. It's our first day, first assembly of the adherents to the divine call of all you who believe. And I'm so happy. Before I go further, let me appreciate Fatima, who has made that beautiful recitation. I pray Almighty Allah to make you grow as a better woman with the knowledge of Islam, inshallah. And may Allah bless your parents as well. I'd like to thank Malam Shams for setting the stage and for setting the tone and for actually anchoring us today. And by extension, let me appreciate every single person who's on this platform today, starting from all the in-house imams. I've got Dr. Amsad there. I've got Brother Deputy Imam there. Baba Imam, everybody is there already. And the control room is there. Brother Wali Hassan, every single person, and the entire OU who believe crew. We thank Almighty Allah that we have been able to come this far. And before I go further as well, I like to say Ramadan Kareem. And in saying that, I also want to make a disclosure here and a bit of confession. I came to this city last week, exactly a week ago. And I left after the 1.5 hours we had together with some mixed feelings. One was that I thank people for the opportunity, but then my inadequacies came back to me like, did you do it well? That is not Professor Baderi's standard. You didn't do this. I saw so many things I did not do well. And then in realization of that, I started thanking Allah for our home prof, that we are indeed blessed. You do not know what you have until that thing is no longer around with you. That's no time we do not appreciate our professor. But then that was a time that my appreciation for him actually soared. And I ask Almighty Allah to continue to bless him and increase him in knowledge and give him longevity so he can serve the humanity further and further. Amen. Today, I'm excited again, like I mentioned, last week, that I am excited, that I was so excited. The reason for my excitement is not far-fetched. You will agree with me that human life is replete with paradoxes. The periodic alternation of experiences of varying kinds actually gives life its essence. The essence of life is that you enjoy the both worlds. The day you ride a car, another day when the car will ride you, if that was possible, you find that we are not human beings. We travel through experiences of our lives, and they shape the way we think, our personality, and the totality of our personality is made up of all these experiences. Man rises, he falls, he crawls on the floor and soars in the sky. He is at times caught in the quicksand of iniquities, and at other times he rotates the orbit of righteousness. Just as he can reach the pinnacle of humanity, so can he revert to the depth of bestiality, depraved behavior. My excitement now derives from the fact that in all of these dwindlings and not being sure, a situation that's not static, Ramadan is here. Ramadan has come, but it has actually come, and almost 2 billion adherents of the faith all over the world, that includes me, are celebrating. But the actual fact is, the visitor has come. What is unique and the way we receive our guests, Ramadan, is the same. But the way Balejo Bade Oniboshimbonile Ramadan it has come, and people are indeed in different situations. What I call the 4 belittling these. Some people are in that situation of desperation, situation of depression, situation of destitution, the situation of despair, and then you have other issues of insolvency, low esteem, joblessness, redundancy, ill health, incapacitation, litigations, and so on. These are the conditions that Ramadan has come and met us in. But what is exciting about it, and the hope we have in Ramadan, is Allah himself said in Surah Al-Dukhan, Fiha yufraku kullu amrin hakim, hamuran min indina inna kunna mursilin. In this month, particularly the nights of Laylatul Qadr is there, it has come with hopes. So we want to transit from all these situations into better conditions of life, just like Allah has promised, and is the one who, when he promises, he fulfills. He says, "Fiya yufraku kullu amrin hakim, hamuran min indina inna kunna mursilin." This is when all matters of divine ordainments are looked into as a command from Allah. So we are not despairing because Ramadan is here. Our desperation has got its own solution. And now, to whom much is given, much is expected. Allah has given us that verse that is ready to change your situation. Just like Malam Sham said, this is where you do a good deed, a virtuous deed that just one, and Allah is giving you, is multiplying in 700 folds. So this is something that gives us hope in this month of Ramadan. I welcome, like I was going to mention, the protocol is what is our established protocol is what I'm standing on. But I like to single out for mention Imam Tajuddin Salami, Babami Al-Barka, Alaji Abdul Fattah, Imam, Deputy Imam Bedemuke, and the entire, I've got a doctor there, Dr. Amsa, who will also be helping me out because we've got a very big fish in a big pond. Sometimes you have a very big fish in a small pond, but what we have tonight is a big fish in a very big pond. My own father, and I would implore us to stay, to hang around while, the presentation lasts. We already have him here, alhamdulillah. Our father, who is going to be doing the presentation for 30 minutes tonight, is no other than Sheikh Abdullah Badikashi Akibodi, Chief Imam Jamali Worldwide. If I have to say one or two things about him, I just have to be as brief as I can be. Otherwise, he's a man with an intimidating resume. But I like to say these few things about him. Sheikh Abdullah Badikashi Akibodi is the Chief Imam Jamali Worldwide, as we know. He attended Ahmadiyya Grammar School, Ibadan. He has a BA Hons, an MSc in Islamic Education and International Law and Diplomacy, respectively, from the University of Lagos, Nigeria. He's been a leading light in the propagation of Islam in Nigeria for almost 4 decades through different platforms. He was a teacher of Islamic studies before he pioneered the employment of music for da'wah among youth of Muslim Student Society of Nigeria in Lagos State in the 80s. Imam Abdullah Akibodi was the spiritual head and chief missionary of Nasr al-Fatih Society of Nigeria, NASFAT, a prayer group he co-founded to stem the threats. Some young Muslims losing their faith in 1995 post. In 2017, my father and my sheikh, my mentor, my friend, my talkmate, Imam Akibodi, inaugurated a new platform for da'wah. And as we know today, Jama'atu Al-Ilai, a society of people in the cause of Allah, is known to everyone with the acronym Jamali. Jamali means my beauty. This has over 50 branches till date. Sheikh Akibodi continues to strive in the cause of da'wah, part of which is addressing this platform today as he speaks on dealing with distractions in the holy month of Ramadan. I'm so excited, and I have great pleasure in introducing onto the platform tonight my father. I respectfully call onto the platform Sheikh Abdullah Badikashi Akibodi. Like I mentioned earlier, is going to be gracing the platform. It's not his first time here, and I like to say Jazakumullahu khair jaza, for he was with us on Sunday and he's here again. He has a double role. He's going to be presenting for us tonight. And again, we'll be doing some little fundraising tonight. I'm just saying this to him now, but because I know he's an expert, he taught all of us how to make money through the hour. And we can say, we have a good teacher in him. So when the master himself is here, you can imagine how blessed we are to have him on the platform tonight. So inshallah, I'd like to invite him onto the podium for the next 30 minutes, inshallah. فليتفضل مشكورا يا شيخ.
الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. أما بعد, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the universe. Viewers at home, I greet you in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, by saying, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ramadan Kareem to all of you.
Allahu Akram.
The period of Quran, the period of the fortune of the highest order, the period when the affairs of humanity are predestined by Almighty Allah and given the authority to manifest itself. The period when the body is being overhauled spiritually, physically, and even socially. A period of general overhauling of the body system. May Allah accept everything we do in this month as an act of ibadah. It is a period when every act of ibadah you do is the best. The minute you use in cause of Allah is the best minute of the year. An hour is the best hour one can utilize for himself or for herself. The day is equally a day that is the best in your life. The ulama of Islam said, when you put forward a virtuous act in this period of Ramadan, you have the reward of putting forward 1,000 meritorious and virtuous service in cause of Allah. In essence, if it is charity you have extended to your brother or your sister in Islam or to any human being, that means you have offered charity or you have offered charity to 1,000 of your personality. May Allah accept our fasting as an act of ibadah. We want to discuss briefly on the virtues of Ramadan, apart from the intro I've just mentioned. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيُصُمْهُ. In another portion, Allah says, وَأَنْ تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. The first meaning is that Allah says, whoever witness the month of Ramadan must fast. So it is mandatory, it is prescribed. And the same portion of the Holy Quran says, وَأَنْ تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. It is the best activity to fast in the month of Ramadan. But with that it is made, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pure. He will accept only what is pure. He will not accept impurity. If Allah is impure, all service, act of servitude you do to him must equally be pure. And you must have good intention for doing it. In essence, any activity done or any act of servitude done that will infringe on the excellence of that service is uncalled for in Islam. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the Holy Quran the activities, some of the services that may render, that may invalidate your fasting. Some of the activities that may render your service because of Allah in this month of Ramadan unacceptable. And we have 4 prominent features that categorically stated what are the distractions of Ramadan. Distraction or distractions are anything that could reduce the efficacy, the absolutism of that service. If by measure of Almighty Allah, who has the power to measure the service and the reward for any activity done by mankind. Allah says, فَأَمَّا مَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. Whoever put forward a work of virtue, a good work, the best work, a work that excels compared with others, he will see it. He will receive the reward. He will meet with the pleasure of Allah. Likewise, if someone put forward a service that is uncalled for, a service that is not that is not in its place of merit, he will equally see it. And in order to distinguish between what is meritorious and what is unmeritorious, the Holy Quran, the first superstructure of Islamic jurisprudence, lists in the Holy Quran, وَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ. This is the state of marada, a state of sickness. If you are sick, sickness is a distraction that will affect the excellence of your servitude to Almighty Allah. Aw ala safarin, or you embark on a journey that is assiduous, it is equally a distraction to achieving an excellent reward from Almighty Allah. That is from the Holy Quran. You are from the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad that said there are a lot of distractions under the Sunnah: backbiting, lying, creating slanderous statements, uttering utterances that are invalid. All these things are distracting activities that can validate or invalidate your service in the month of Ramadan. I have a long list of what are the things from the point of view of the Holy Quran, from the point of view of the Sunnah, from the point of view of the consensus of opinion, and from the analogical reasoning. These are the four prominent features of Islam. We have list of activities that can invalidate. We have activities that may not invalidate, that may not, as a result of that destruction, that may invalidate your service in the month of Ramadan. Going for blood tests, they are taken from you, you are not taken in. That is a distraction, and it will not invalidate your fasting in the month of Ramadan. Injection, you are being injected, taken from medical point of view. When you contact your medical personnel, they will decide on whether with your sickness, you have to take some things, and taking that things, if it requires just injections based on the medical advice, your fasting or your fast is not invalidated. We have inhalers. We have inhaling Vicks. We have steaming. We have inhaling smoke or dust unintentionally. These are the distractions we have. These are the things that may invalidate our fasting. Using of eye drops, nose bleeding, cooping, cutting your hair and clipping your nails, nose drop, when blood drops from your nose. These are the things that under Islamic jurisprudence, you have advice from medical doctors and you have fatwa from Islamic jurists who considers the implication, if it has health hazard on you, it will invalidate your fasting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, if you are sick, or you are on journey, or you are a nursing mother, or you are pregnant, you are feeding mother, or you are in state of your red flag, you are excused from fasting. Temporal exemption. All these things are distractions at this period in time. A nursing mother will have to produce milk and nurse his baby or her baby. Likewise, a pregnant woman requires the usage of some drugs as being recommended by medical doctors. You have those on a hazardous journey. Good. There is need for you to take water. There is need for you to do one or two things that your body requires. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, these are people that are temporarily exempted from fasting, so that those distractions would not affect the excellence acquisition of their reward with Allah. We have in this list, when you have wet dream, a wet dream does not invalidate fasting in the month of Ramadan. Even if you have wet dream, all you need to do is to rise up and perform your ghusl, and your fasting continue. You have acupuncture, and acupuncture is equally a medical thing, and it is not an issue that could be handled by an ordinary man. It has to be through the expert or the expertise knowledge of medical doctor, of a medical doctor. When you forgetfully eat, you drink, or you have intercourse in the month of Ramadan, these are three distractions that needs explanation, so that you can comprehend and take note. Unintentional forgetfulness. A man can remember and can as well forget. If forgetfully you ate during the month, of Ramadan, you just stop it and continue your fast. But if intentionally you ate during the month of Ramadan, you know that is a willful disobedience to the authority of Almighty Allah. For every single day fasting, you have to fast for 2 consecutive months for every fast that you have willfully terminated. Drinking. These are the things that you are commanded to give up from the twilight of day to the twilight of the night. And if you now act with a flagrant disobedience to those injunctions, that means you have committed a criminality against God. And the way out is just for that single day, you fast for 60 consecutive days. Or at the highest point, you have intercourse. What Allah has forbidden you, you have adopted it. You didn't abandon it as Allah has made it forbidden for you. You will equally pay for that sin. Vomiting unintentionally does not invalidate your fast. But if you vomit, mouthful vomiting, in order to wet your mouth or to sip some water during the month of Ramadan, the distraction has invalidated your fasting. You have, when you have an induced or mouthful vomiting, that is what I've just mentioned. Then you have shower, swimming pool in the month of Ramadan. You too should examine yourself. How will it not possible? Sipping just a little quantity of water during the swimming. Meaning that will invalidate your fasting in the month of Ramadan. It will invalidate that day fast. Likewise, you have, as listed here, when you smell incense or you smell your soup, somebody is preparing soup or somebody preparing the food, and the aroma of that food, you smell it, it does not invalidate your salat. But you have to be, your fast, but you have to be very careful. Always follow the injunction of Allah that وَأَنْ تَصُومُوا وَمَنْ تَطَوَّعَ خَيْرًا فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. That is, whatever good action and addendum that you put forward in the month of Ramadan, فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. It is the best for you. If you observe the fast along in line with the injunctions, in line with the admonition, the invitation of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you are putting forth a best service in the month of Ramadan. Then, eardrops. So eardrum, tasting food without swallowing, automatically invalidate your fast. Masturbation, ejaculation, physical stimulation in the month of Ramadan, in fact, invalidate your fast. There are distractions that could render your servitude in the month of Ramadan null and void. When you swallow one of your saliva, you decide to continuous swallowing of saliva. These rulings I'm giving are the fatwa given by the ulama of jurisprudential expertise. And they have Sharia backup for all these things after they have ruminated, after they have considered all other things that are necessary before the injunction. We have also, when you have oral medication invalidate your fast. We equally have kissing or touching one's spouse in the month of Ramadan. This is a flagrant disobedience to the injunction of Almighty Allah. When you keep up from certain acts, you do not act in an hibernation way, or you try to say you are playing safe. You are not playing safe. You can't cheat Allah. It is either you do a service that is pure and acceptable to Allah. Allah will not accept anything but what is pure. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, apart from the Holy Quran, as regards line, says, La'anatullahi ala al-kafirin. If you are putting forward a service to attain piety before Allah, and you engage in activity of lying, there is no need. Allah does not need your service. Allah does not need your giving up, eating, drinking, sexual intercourse from day to night. Allah does not need it. Not only that, backbiting. No, all these things are immoralities in Islam. Or when you engage in utterances of slander, utterances of utterances of bringing people down, swearing false oath. All these are distractions that will invalidate your fast in the month of Ramadan. Brothers and sisters, you as at home, you will have to take care. And that is why you need guidance of Allah. That is why you need to continue to seek for more knowledge, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the beginning of the revelation of the Holy Quran, it says, Iqra, read. And that means the more you read, the more you comprehend, the more you understand. The more you read, the more you find out that you still need to read more. And after all, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Al-ilmu min al-mahadi ila al-lahadi. The seeking of knowledge is from your infancy, from the cradle of life, till one is lower inside the grave. When a Muslim seeks for knowledge, he will comprehend what are the prohibitions he will have to run away from, he have to abandon them. And what are the injunctions he will have to strive as much as he can to do it. Without knowledge, one cannot achieve this thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even through the Holy Prophet Muhammad says, knowledge is gold. A knowledgeable person is compared to somebody who is healthy, who is ill, and who sees clearly, while somebody who does not even care to know all these things and try as much as he can to abandon the prohibitions is likened to a dead person, is likened to a blind person. Al-yastawi al-ama wal-absar. By no means can you compare somebody who is blind to somebody who sees clearly. Viewers at home, all these distractions should be noted, and you observe the fast as you have seen the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or has been taught by the ulama of Islam. May Allah accept our act of servitude. May Allah accept our siyam. May Allah accept our salat. May Allah accept all activity of charity we put forward in this month of Ramadan. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka anta sami'un alim. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka anta mujibud du'a. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam
wa rahmatullah.
Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bàbá mi, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ àrí yín pẹ́. Ọlọ́run kò sí Ọlọ́run tó ní kí ó dá kálukú wa, ó sì fi ń tá àmọ́ wá ṣe láyé, ó fi tì wá lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. Wa rabbuka yakhluqu ma yasha'u wa yakhtaru. He creates whomsoever and whatever he wills, but he makes exemptions of some. And whatever he has destined you to do, that you will do so perfectly. And that is what you have had tonight, inshallah. I thank you. And the expert has spoken. So there's almost nothing I want to add to that, because I will just be repeating what he said. And because he has a part 2 of the presentation tonight, which is it's going to be 7 o'clock shortly. And as we all know, in Nigeria, there's a fixed iftar time in Nigeria. And I've appealed to him that Ajiraba will just give him a cup of water, because we still need him beyond the iftar time, because it's going to do a bit of collection for us tonight on this. And I have to inform the assembly tonight in the sense that by next Sunday, God willing, and this is part of the gratitude that we have to express to our father, Sheikh Abdullahi Badigashi Akimbode, my home father. He has accepted wholeheartedly to do a kind of fundraising. It's not even a kind, it's going to do proper fundraising for our Old Kent Road Mosque. When I approached him, after a declaration was made on the platform that we should approach people, and because it's got an audience that we has a very big followership, we decided that that would be a very a nice platform to get something. And as soon as I approached him, he did not even think twice. He did not think about it. He didn't ask me to come back. And he said, this Sunday, inshallah, is going to be raising fund for us on the grounds of Jamali in Lagos. As you can imagine how many people attend Jamali, even if every single person, he knows, like I told you, if you say Ajikali knows how to get money, he trained me. So whatever I've been able to make or do in terms of raising funds, he taught me. So who is a subordinate compared to his master, inshallah. So he has graciously agreed to raise funds for us. So he's going to show an example of that tonight. And we have gained about 2-3 minutes from the time that's been allocated to you. And that's why I'm not going to be wasting time talking about, he was very explicit about all the distractions, but in this part of the world, and that'll be just one distraction that I'm always bothered with, even it's across the world. It's just that it's quite phenomenal around us in the Western world, yeah. And that is your telephone. Your telephone is a one-stop device now. You've got everything there. The social media is a major distraction. And Allah is warning. You think you have to see Shaitan physically. You would have to wait for a lifetime to see Shaitan. He comes to you like he promised. He's going to come from the right, from the left, front and back. So you will not know. And Allah says in Surah Al-A'raf, Innahu yarakum huwa wa qabiluhu min haythu la tarawnahum. Ibi tẹ́yin ti rí Shaitan àtàwọn ọmọ ogun rẹ̀, ibẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti yọ sí ẹ. Fúnra ẹ ló máa sanwó. You top up your phone and you use it against yourself. And that is what it means. If you'll ask me, by the way, if anybody asks me, you've not been saying congratulations, happy birthday on Facebook, it is because it is part of the distractions that I want to do away with. I'm not opening my page except to post something that's relevant to this and almost, I'm not going there to see whether it's your birthday or anything. So forgive me, because it's a major distraction that I've decided, to just put aside. In the afternoon of Ramadan, you are there, you think it's too long, especially those of us who fast for like 17, 18 hours. You think when you slot a film there, it's going to shorten the time. It's a major distraction. So we have Ayyam Ma'dudat. We are not going to have Ramadan forever. It's only 30 days at the very most. And then you've spent 5 of it already. You've spent 5 days out of the 30. It's not too soon to start assessing yourself. Am I doing well? And that is the major distractions we are talking about. In addition to all the distractions that the expert has spoken today about, there'll be questions later. People are known to ask questions after each presentation. So we are going to be having that. Plus, there will be that fund that we are going to be raising tonight. So at this point, can I call on the control room, please, to run our appeal promo? Control room.
No, not today. Okay. Salatu Maghrib.
SubhanAllah, now it is a masjid. You probably would have only seen hats like this during Jummah a few years ago, but as time has passed, we now have so many different styles of hats because our community has grown to become so diverse. But the masjid has also grown 100 years in age. This means the structure of the building needs repair work, and if we don't work on it now, it will end up costing us a lot more. We need to increase our capacity from 2 floors to 6 to accommodate all of the extra worshippers and to take in all of the extra kids on the waiting list to become Huffaz. As of right now, we just don't have the capacity. Supporting this masjid will mean that you allow us to keep on carrying out our salawat, our Quran lessons, madrasa, nikahs, janazah, and so much more.
We were really a spark, and then we took what we had at that time, as I've said, with the encouragement from the Pakistani community and the Bangladeshi community.
Please help us fix and build our masjid. We are looking for 8,000 people to give just £100, roughly $120, and we can start the development work immediately, inshallah. Please, please, please click on the link or the button and donate now. Jazakumullah khairan.
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. The fundraising is still going on, and inshallah, we are going to be having a bit of that. This is the month of giving, is the month of the Holy Quran. And the way I want us to look at it while we are appealing for fund tonight is, you know, there are services you do, acts of ibadah that you do, that are just personal to you. When you pray, when you pray, the reward comes to you. It's not shared by anyone. When you give zakat, it is just for you. But the other aspect of you, that is what I call the relationship you have is twofold. You have vertical and you have the one that's horizontal. The vertical is between you and your Lord, service to him. But the service to humanity constitutes the horizontal side of it. And to perfect your vertical, you have to do where you are required to do most work is on the horizontal. Is horizontal is when humanity is concerned, when we are raising appeals for mosque and stuff like that. This is what you do here to perfect your relation, to improve your relationship with Allah. So it's just about, now we want to talk about, we want to raise fund tonight, and the way we are going to do this is, it just occurs to me, and that's why I've asked Sheikh Abdullah Igbade Akimbode to assist me tonight with the help of my Baba in the house, Imam Tajuddin Salami. I do not know. I came to this country to realize Corridor Hasana, even though I've read, copiously about it in the Holy Quran, several places where Allah mentions Manzal Ledi Yukridullah Corridor Hasana. I know what it means, but actually putting it in the action was when we were raising fund for the Nasrat Mosque in Manchester. Corridor Hasana means the money that you loan that is interest free, and based on the agreement you have with the beneficiary, in this case Old Kent Road Mosque, you will have your money back, and you can be assured that there's no defaulting and there's no responsible people are in charge. At the end of the day, you will have your mosque back, and now you are part of the building, you are part of that mosque, and you know what it means that you are promised not a room, not a boskota, a whole house in Jannah. And that's why I have said tonight it's going to be a different approach to somebody has been asking us for money all this while, Professor Masoud Adebayo Badiri. And tonight I've asked my Baba, Sheikh Akimbode, to, I don't know, I think we should have an update tonight, prior to question and answer. If we can have financial updates for the next 5 minutes, so that we know where we are and exactly, how much we would see, how much has been spent, and how much I need of this fund that we are talking about. But Corridor Hasana is different from the one that you give, as Sadaqah, and more so, this is the month of giving, and we want to see how much of that we are able to get tonight, inshallah. Can I have the financial updates? If you have from the project, our regular presenter of that.
I think she's not to run now. I can't find her yet.
Okay, we can just go ahead with the fundraising and Corridor Hasana. People have been encouraged to subscribe to the Corridor Asana concept. 50,000, 30,000. We have a very beautiful Asian families there. We have, families there that are Asian. And what they do, even their individual houses are built via Corridor Asana. They will troop out, build your house. And that's why sometimes when you say, your rent is running you down, and they'll ask you, are you a tenant? You do not have your house. When they give you money until you are able to pay them back 4 or 5 years, it depends on what you agree with us at the old country, old mosque. Give. If you do not even have to give, you have people around you that you can encourage to do the Corridor Asana. Tonight, inshallah, I'm asking for a modest throughout this period of Ramadan. The big boss here, Professor Masoud Badirin, has always been asking for 20,000. He will get it because of the pedigree. He will get 20,000. If he asks for 100,000, he will get 100,000. But I'm being so modest now. And tonight, the reason we are raising this is Professor Badirin. We want to appreciate him. This is the 92nd episode, as mentioned by our uncle, Malam Shamsi. And hardly did he miss 3 out of this 92. And when I came here, sitting on this seat, I realized that it takes everything, your time, your scheduling time and stuff like that, plus the job, your own work that you have to do, and commuting as well. Then you still make sure that you are here. So we want to celebrate Professor Badirin tonight. I am imagining a library in that mosque, that is named, just like you go to Kaaba and you have the various doors, 99 of them, named after notable, people in Islam. You have Babu Sofa, Babu this, Babu, you have all the Babs named after notable individuals. As you will agree with me, we have him as a notable individual here, and it's a blessing to this society. So we want to see how much we can generate tonight, and subsequently, that's throughout Ramadan, I'm going to be getting money because I want a library in his name, whatever he likes to use the money for. But we want to collect money for a library, a befitting library that is named after Professor Badirin. He may say he doesn't want that. That may not even be in the plans, in the original plan. But then he will have the money, and that's a way to even show appreciation for what is done over 92 weeks. To say when you are not around, so inshallah, I want to be raising 25,000 pounds, 25 real £1,000. So 25,000. It will involve promises and things. But before he comes back, I want to have had 25, 1,000 in our accounts. Coffee berry. I can see a hand raised there. Is that Brother Hassan Olawale Abdulgani? Your hand is up.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum. I think I have a screen of the money raised so far. I may not be able to go through it, but with your permission, sir, I can share the screen.
Please do. For some of us, and most of us can pick the figures there, and inshallah, can you do a voiceover
of accountability and openness. Whatever money is raised, whatever has been expended,
But Abdulgani, is this live or recorded? Abu Ramadan.
It is live right now.
But I
Now
think
it is live.
yeah, she's frozen. Yeah.
I'm the one sharing the
updates.
shot of the.
It's all right. That's the summary there.
Yeah.
And so, and inshallah, I want, because we've got the next 20 minutes, converted the rate of our corridor asanas today stands at 13,500 pounds. So we still have a very long way to go in comparison to the 800,000 pounds that we have in mind. So, like I said, we have the next 20 minutes before we ask question, when it will be question and answer time. Thanks so very, very much, Brother Abdulghani, for that. Inshallah, from my own end, from Ali Muksinon, I'll be donating a modest amount of £200 towards the library in appreciation of our own Professor Moshood Adebayo Badiri, our father, our mentor. And this is to say kudos to you. And we cannot appreciate you enough. And this is why we have asked Almighty Allah to write it in your Misanul Hasana, and on the day of Qiyamah, you'll be something that you will warm up to. You'll be happy, you'll be glad to see your Allah, and He will be happy to receive you as well, based on your kitab, inshallah. So I will call on my father once again. I hope you've had a sip of water now. And just say something briefly about, we're having a chat the other time, and you said Professor Badiri has actually come a long way. So whatever we do to celebrate Professor Badiri tonight, it's not out of place, is it? Assalamu alaikum, sir. Eba mi unmute ara yin, sir. Ajiro Baba mi unmute, Baba. We cannot hear you, sir.
I want to speak on our brother, Professor Badiri. And I will limit myself to what I was trained for. I was trained as an imam, and to comment on a brother of mine in Islam is to say what is precise and what is meritorious. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Khairun nas man yanfa'u nasa." The best of a man is a man who is most beneficial to mankind. Professor Badiri is known for his positive, beneficial services he renders within the community of Islam and beyond. And he lives among you. He is your brother. You can as well judge him more than her. I'm basing my judgment based on the long time experience we have had. There was a period Angel Jibril visited Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was asking questions while Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was answering. At a point in time, he asked Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam about the time, and the Prophet replied, "The questionnaire knows better than the one questioned." Professor Badiri lives among you. He dines with you. He eats with you. You see every time. And you can agree with me that it has been of great benefit to the growth of Islam, to the growth of mankind, and to the development of mankind. The Prophet equally said, "Khairukum Man ta'allama al-Quran wa 'allamahu. The best among you is one who knows Quran, is one who is knowledgeable, and he imparts a useful knowledge to others. Mark the word, useful knowledge. You can have knowledge like a sea. You can have knowledge that cannot be matched anywhere, but the dissemination of useful knowledge is not a market for all comers. So Professor Baderi belongs to the market of people who impart useful knowledge to mankind. May Allah be pleased with him. Only knowledge in these days is incomparable. And the prophet says, the ink or the pen of a scholar is mightier than the power of a king. Because when a scholar holds his pen, he writes, he discusses, and the evil, the power of a powerful person who does not shield his sword cannot curtail. It is the power of pen. It is the injunction of a most beneficial man to the community, because he will be a man of honor, a man people would like to listen to, and a man people will share from his a colossus of virtues, who lives above the board. That is the personality of Professor Baderi.
Alhamdulillah.
With him again and each and every one of us.
Thanks so very much. If they say the call calls to the call, and it sorrow. Achieva now, so one might sorrow. Achieva Ejo, can I ask Brother Wale Hassan the control to give us a bit of our the fundraising jingle before we go to question and answer, and during that we can use the hand, the raise hand icon there to signify, question and answer, and whatever amount we want to donate tonight, inshallah. Brother Wale Hassan.
The mosque is the soul of the Muslim community. It is the hub of life-giving and spiritually fulfilling activities, feeding of people on the street, youth camp, empowerment of women, and care for the elderly. The timely and effective COVID-19 intervention on Oh You Who Believe, our online lecture series, is a masterpiece. The Visit My Mosque project breaks barriers. We take pride in the blend of our mosque users who cut across color, gender, age, and social differences. Academic, moral, and spiritual education is catered for at the Markaz. The 5 daily prayer, Jum'ah service, our healthy living, counseling, marriage, naming, and burial arrangements are top quality. The Old Kent Road Mosque and Islamic Cultural Center, where we do these and more, is now in ground zero. Our faith in Allah and your great contributions can make the 6-story building a reality. Please donate and encourage others around you to donate towards the rebuilding of the house of Allah. May Allah bless you abundantly. Ameen.
Ameen, thanks a lot for that. I just got a message from Alaja Onitolo. She's there to do the updates. If you can unmute yourself and do the presentation. Assalamu alaikum, Ajia. Alaja Karamat. Is Alaja Karamat still there? Hello, sir. Gafile. Control, do we have Elijah Onitolo there? She just sent a message now that she's there to do the updates.
She should please raise her hand if she's here. I can't seem to find her.
She sent me a message now.
Okay, just call her. Let's see.
She said, I'm available for updates, sir. Elijah Onitolo, if you are there. Otherwise, we just go.
Joining as a panelist now.
Okay. Prawale, did you say you upgraded her as a panelist?
Done, sir. Done.
But what she needs to unmute now and say something. Otherwise, we just go to question and answer straight. We've only got about 15 minutes left. Yeah. Well, Alex around till Ajay. Go on.
Sorry about that. So I'm going to try and share my screen, sir. 1 second, sir.
Please go ahead.
Can you see my screen, sir?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. Apologies for because there was a call that came in. That's why I couldn't hear you. So I'll run through this very quickly.
No problem.
Alhamdulillah, so far we've been able to collect in our pound sterling account £362,528.81. And now, for the fundraising event that we had in January, we've been able to raise £97,046. And in our Naira account, we have £6,339.38. The £100 weekly contribution that we did, we have £3,730, and for our Qad Asna, 13,500, which brings us to a total of £483,144.19. Our outstanding pledges, we've still got for the OKR 2021, we've still got 2,700. An outstanding balance for the OKR 2022, we've got 26,510, which that brings us to a total of £29,210. So our shortfall with our pledges, we've got £316,855.81, and our shortfall with pledges, we have £287,648.81. From last week, we were able to, we received into our account £2,868.50. Jazakallah for everybody that's donated, and may Almighty Allah continue to enrich our pocket. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ajia. Thanks for that useful updates. May Allah credit to our book of good deeds, inshallah. Because like I said, iftar, as we know, has commenced after Maghrib in Nigeria. So we've had to excuse our guest tonight. And I'm going to bring on the Baba, Dr. Amzad Dawood Amsa has been on the platform, just like my Baba, Imam Tajuddin Abdul Salam. We've been on the platform since the start of the program. And inshallah, any question, we would invite, we will share between ourselves. Dr. Amsa is there, Baba is there. So it's question and answer time now, if you don't mind. Please, you can use the raise hand icon there and you can write it in the chat box there. It's question and answer time now. Assalamu alaikum. So control room, if you help us monitor the chat box.
The first question we have, it said, on the topic of distraction during Ramadan, what is your advice, please, on chats for matrimonial purposes? Can both individuals meet in a public place for introduction?
Inshallah, I will concede that to Dr. Hamzat, because we've not got so much time left. Doctor, if you are there, can I ask you to unmute yourself, please?
Yes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Well, my sincere advice is that during Ramadan, so since the number of days is only 29 or 30, so it's not too much for us for that period of time in 1 year to abstain ourselves from all those things that we know that they can vitiate our fasting. We are not, the rule of Islamic law doesn't prevent us from attending gathering during Ramadan, but we should avoid mixture of sexes, and then we should avoid those things that we know if we do it, because the sensitivity of individual is different. So if you know yourself that you cannot withstand situation where you interact without limit with opposite sex, just avoid it. So as the Sheikh mentions, listed number of things that we have to look for. So we have to abide by those things. Let us avoid it. Anything that
Doctor is frozen there. He was making a point and was very clear that we should avoid mingling.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's better now, sir.
Can
yes,
you hear
sir.
me? Okay.
Go on, sir. Go on, sir.
Yes, as I was saying, the submission of Sheikh Abdullah is essentially on theological points, and that is those things that we can read from the book of fiqh, like vomiting, having a wet dream in the day night of Ramadan, and all those things, kind of things, discuss them extensively. So we have to avoid them, but otherwise, we can move to the sociological and social distractions. Like even I was thinking of talking about those things that we can, looking at pictures on our phone or iPhone and internet, all those things that we know that can vitiate our fasting. Please, we have to avoid them. That's what I can say so far.
Alhamdulillah, thanks for that. Baba Misalami, have you got something to say in regards to that? Imam, inshallah, I can't spot him there, but it's still part of the distractions we are talking about, which is quite avoidable. Thanks, Dr. Dawood Hamza. Thanks for that. It's apt and it's concise. This is the time of self-discipline. You remember that the list, if on a scale of a 1 to 100, your fasting is only 1% of it is just, not eating and drinking. When the most of it, the remainder of the 99, percent is the things that relate to your seeing, your hearing, your saying, your thinking. So in this holy month, you have to fast. Your eyes have to fast. You cannot control the way people turn out there. You can't control the way they dress, the way people conduct themselves there. When you go there, you cannot control it. So we minimize things as much as possible, remembering that Allah says, "Inna samwa wal basara wal fuada kullu ulaika kana All of this will be asked what you see, what you hear, and what you say and what you think, especially in this holy month. So that's the advice on that. Many more questions, please. And please, while we raise up our hands, we're still collecting money. I think people are just warming up because it's Ramadan, it's just starting, and we are thinking about how much can I donate, how can I. I know that before the end of Ramadan, we would have raked in something substantial and meaningful, inshallah. Control, do we have more questions there?
Yeah, can you please expatiate on the distraction caused by swallowing of saliva?
Dr. Hamza.
Swallowing saliva.
Yes,
I want to be clear. Swallowing saliva.
Yeah, can you please expatiate on the distraction caused by swallowing of saliva?
There is no, I cannot imagine distraction from saliva. So what breaks the fast is something that's something you bring in from outside your body. So saliva is not one of it. So if for any reason, maybe the questioner is trying to know if the accumulation of saliva is the mouth of somebody and then he swallows that accumulation of saliva. I don't think there is any authority to support the idea that if accumulated saliva is swallowed and then that has vitiated the fasting. No. So, but it is advised that there is no reason why somebody will be accumulating saliva in his mouth and then try to swallow it. Why don't you throw it out? So, except if there is any problem. But generally on Islamic jurisprudence, swallowing saliva cannot and will never vitiate the fasting. Allahu Alam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa
barakatuh.
Yeah, I want to ask a question regarding the ram that we killed for the Eid. I was in conversation with someone this afternoon, and he was saying that calling names of people that maybe if the person that bought the ram, calling the name of that person whilst killing the ram is a ram. And I said I don't know about it. Maybe I will have to ask. Luckily today is the program day, so that's what I'm asking. That is it a ram or is it not? Because it's something that I grew up to know about that they do that. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think this is one of those things that we normally do in our part of the world. So the Quran is clear. Quran say, "Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alamin." So my observance of prayer, my sacrifice, my life and my death, everything belongs to Allah. So in other words, when you are slaughtering an animal in sacrifice to Allah, there is no need mentioning the name of anybody. So what we read is when you say Bismillah Allahu Akbar, that is enough. So if you slaughter an animal, maybe you want to make it as a sadaqah for your late parent or in the name of somebody. Allah knows all that. So there is no need mentioning the name of somebody there. So the moment you say Bismillah Allahu Akbar and you slaughter the animal, that is okay. Allahu Alam.
Jazakumullahu khair, Doctor. As an addendum to that, can I ask, sometimes when a new baby is born and it's the 8th day when a ram is slaughtered ordinarily, when you go to the abattoir, they ask you to bring the name because they are going to kill on your behalf. Has that got a place in Islam?
No, it has no place in Islam at all. Because when you slaughter, you see the Quran, the excerpt of the Quran I read now, Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya lillahi rabbil alamin. Whatever we do it in the name of Allah, and Allah knows everything. So where do we need to specify for Allah? Allah knows our intention. So the best dua that we can say while slaughtering animal is to say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. That's all. May Allah get us all right.
Thanks so very much. I think we can take one or two more questions, then we do the OU believe for today. We know Professor Badari to be someone who has zero tolerance for waste of time. So my target is that we finish on the dot of time, 7:30, inshallah. Any more questions there? And I'm alone now. I'm the only one who has given money there. Is it because that's how much I love Badari more than the others, or maybe we are warming up till next week? Any more questions there?
Somebody is asking if fatalism is same as destiny.
Fatalism as destiny.
Is it the same as destiny?
Doctor, are you there?
Yes, fatalism. Please, I want you to simplify the definition of fatalism, at least for the sake of many audience. Yes, what is fatalism? What do you mean by fatalism?
I think this from something we discussed the last time. It's about people believing that whatever happens to them is due to Allah, and then you are sick, you don't take medication because Allah would heal you. That's a kind of it's a kind of a level of belief, isn't it? So yes. The person is asking if fatalism is same as destiny.
It's never a destiny. I want you to the reason why I ask you to elaborate is I want the various audience to know, because I don't want to turn this to academic discourse. You see, Allah, Quran is clear about what do we do when we are faced by challenges of life. So as Muslims, we used to say that our creation by Allah is composed of two elements, the physical element and spiritual element. So the spiritual element is taken care of by our iman and our prayer, where physical element is taken care of by what Salah has recommended: good food, exercise, all this kind of, as our doctor used to tell us. So, but when we are faced with a challenge, maybe a health challenge, so the best recommendation for a Muslim is to visit doctors regularly and then pray, because you cannot depend extremely on only medical treatment. You have to combine whatever you are doing with prayer. The same thing if there is any other social or family or work challenges, so you try your best and you pray to Allah. So in other words, we as Muslims, we are not totally dependent on our human intelligence or human effort. We depend on both our efforts and our prayer. So, and I pray that Allah will accept our prayers.
Especially in this month, when new budgets are being read on a certain night, and if you are lucky to be present on that night and you make your supplications, there's no better time than now, as an addition to Doctor's contribution on that. You know, this is the month that you have to do your all. This is the month where Allah comes down in an authentic hadith to the last heaven, the very first, the one that's closest to us here, is asking who is sick, who wants to be healed, and who is indigent, who wants me to bless him with money, who is losing this and wants this and that. Let's take opportunity in that. And as Muslims, what we call prayer cannot be put in the back burners. It's the core of our relationship with Allah. Is there? Whoever does not call Allah, Allah is Yaghdabullah alayhi. Allah is annoyed with him. So it's not, we have to rely on our physical effort to some degree, and total reliance on Almighty Allah, does the magic, inshallah. Now, please, I have to say this at this juncture. We have changed time, obviously, and that has affected turnout. And this is the time that most people, have chosen for their programs. We have just moved from 8 to 9:30 to 6 to 7:30. Please let others know about the change of time. And inshallah, next week, And going forward from next week, from this week on, is 6 to 7:30, inshallah. And can we take one more question there? Then we wrap it up for today.
That's the last question we have, sir.
It's all right. Alhamdulillah. We thank Almighty Allah for, do we have, that's going to be, I have to read through my script here, unlike when the expert is not, when the owner of the seat is not around. And now we want to do the OU Believe for today. And obviously, as expected, even Ramadan is 5 today, but it is our number 1 Ramadan on the platform. Today being the very first Wednesday in the holy month of Ramadan. So we are starting from the very beginning. And this is why I like us to start from the very beginning, where Allah mentions, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. That's Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2 of the Holy Quran, verse 183. Allah says, "Oh, you who believe, observing the fast is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, that you may become al-muttaqin." You know, which means the objective of fasting, the Ramadan fast, is la'alakum tattaqun, so that we may gain taqwa, piety. So we ask Almighty Allah that throughout this period, He will lead us to all the opportunities that will make us, fear Him more, and all aspects of our ibadah that will be acceptable to Him. He will lead and guide us to them, and all aspects of our life and daily life that would pitch us against Him and what He wishes for us, Allah will take us away from those situations, inshallah. Until next week, inshallah, I will now invite back onto the podium, after thanking Dr. Dawood Adesola for holding forth for our father who had to go and break his fast. And inshallah, I'll call on Malam Sams to sign us off. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Imam Ajikonle Hussein, for moderating today's event. Time is really gone because we have just about 10 minutes to start breaking our fast in the UK. But before we go, I just want to share with you the lesson I learned today from today's presentation. Our Imam told us that we should strive our best to avoid distractions, to do our best, especially in Ramadan. But as we do that, we should not then think that we are better than anyone in acts of ibadah, in serving Allah. The mere fact that you start thinking that you are good enough, you are better than other people, you have allowed Shaitan to distract you. May Allah continue to strengthen us with humility and preserve us in His deen. And inshallah, hope to see you next week. Say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The urgent need for our fast-growing community of mosque users. The belief in Allah's promise to reward every effort towards the building of a mosque with paradise, and our commitment to the next generation of believers informed our decision to start the rebuild by pulling down the 100-year-old building. Now was the time to have a brand new purpose-built 6-story Old Kent Road Mosque and Islamic Cultural Centre, strategically sited here in London. Join us on this journey of faith by donating and encouraging others to do the same. You can pay in any currency. May Allah bless you abundantly. Ameen.
يا ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد خلقنا منها وحملها الإنسان